Today we're jumping into Automate It, a factory puzzle game that has just released to Steam, and with weekly puzzles to accomplish, over 50 campaign missions and the option to produce your own custom levels, there's plenty of opportunity to optimize your factory lines. But this shouldn't be considered an automation game. Certainly not in regards to other established factory games in the niche, such as Satisfactory or Factorio, where the goal is to produce a specific item. In Automate It, the goal, rather than produce said item, is actually tied into optimizing your space, power usage, and the time that it takes to complete a said production line, producing X amount of items within, say, a minute. And this is why I feel that it's more akin to other puzzle games in the niche, such as Infinifactory or Factorio's challenges. So if you've played them, you'll get an idea as to what we have here. Now, I've already had a good go at all of the first levels in the world. We're going to jump into the first one of World 2, which is Pirates of the Caribbean. And from here we can also see the rankings. So based on the time it takes you to complete, the power that you use, so less is better, and the space you will be put onto the border. Now I'm definitely expecting to be in the top 10, given that there are only 9 people who have achieved this so far. But do not worry, if you're jumping into the game for the first time, you can see my high scores on some of the missions. So we are 3 out of the 42 people that have played so far. You will be able to do better than this. Maybe not immediately, but certainly further into the game, which we will talk about shortly. But let's get started. And here we have our little puzzle space. So we have 2 platforms that we can build in, though you can build outside of here a little bit with the conveyors. You can't do that with the buildables though. From here we know that we need to deliver 60 structural cables in 1 minute and 20 seconds, and to produce them we have our production line down here. One thing that I will say about Automate It is even though it's coming out to full release, I do hope that they're going to bring some more additional patches to the game, because it does feel quite clunky at times. And same in regards to the UI, like to close this, the only way I can work out how to do this is to open it as a separate window and then close it. Things like copying and pasting, you have to like click C and then click on the item that you want selected. And it's just not that user friendly at times to know what you're selecting. But I think that's also a case of me just checking it out for the first time. I've not spent enough time in game, so don't let that put you off too much. So in order to do this, we've already covered that we need to do these 60 cables, structural cables, in 1 minute and 20 seconds. And here we have the secondary objectives, which are complete it in a minute or less and use 180 or less power. And it's these that we really need to pay attention to, as they will allow us to get onto that leaderboard if we have the high scores. So let's see what we need to do here. The welder, let's switch recipe. Oh, we have 2 different recipes this time. By the looks of it, we can create copper filament and copper bars and use the advanced cutter to produce 60 per minute. Now we need 60 in 1 minute and 20 seconds. So we could absolutely go down this route. It seems too easy though. Let's see. If we split this immediately, we have 120 on each line. Our conveyors have a max throughput of 120, so this is fine. And what we can do here is place down a splitter, and then we can use T to flip this around. And so we've gone from a 1 to 4 splitter. So each of these will have 60 copper. The furnace is the item that we need to produce to use next. So we can place 1 there, and then maybe 1 here. So they're each producing 120. And then we have 60 copper bars, which need to be produced in the press. How are we going to do that? I think what we might have to do is swap these around. So if we grab our press, place it there, and we can do the same on this side. We'll have a single conveyor going each way. And then can we just drag that? We can. Lovely. So from here, we can then use the furnaces, flip them around. And in theory, this should allow us to use an advanced cutter. And we can place 2 of these, just not in this location because they're rather big. 1 there and 1 there. And then these will send up using an elevator. Now we can bring these across here. I'm acutely aware that we're probably running out of power. So this might not work out for us because each of the conveyors also consumes power. Right, we're down to 46. -1 power. Oh no. How are we going to manage this? I wonder if we could do it here. We'll just take everything up just like we've done over here. And we don't need to worry about anything for the time being. So long as we're producing these items, once we're ready, we can run this simulation speed. We can do it in slow, so we can see everything being produced here from these spawners. We have our resources going in, and then hopefully we'll be able to do this within 1 minute and 20 seconds. And you can see we've done it. Oh, wow. Actually, we were accepted onto the high scores. I thought we used too much power. So we are in the top 5. We also are in the top 9 for power, because it's quite power intensive, and 9 for space. Now, I'm pretty sure we can at least get to number 8 in this using some little quirks. So, for example, here, each of these consume, is that 1 power? Yeah, we've got 2 there. So that is 2 power. If we remove all of these, we've saved ourselves a fair bit of power. And then we can grab this and we can combine these because they have a max speed of 120. So let's just clean that up a bit. And we've made a slight adjustment to this just at the end here. We're going to see if this works. So let's do that. Hey, so we have got a new high score for used power. So we're still 5 out of 10 there. We're 9 out of 10 on power, but we're using considerably less. We're on the way up. And in terms of space, we're at 190 as our top. So top 8. I'm honestly quite happy with that. And I originally was quite flummoxed, because I couldn't get how people were getting these really high scores. Like, that's 10 seconds faster than what we're doing. More than that, even. And then it occurred to me, if we go to our return to level selector, obviously we could use different recipes. That's absolutely something that you can do and try and optimize the line that way. And I'll do that now at the end whilst we're just summing this up. But also, as you get further into the game, you can see Apophis, who is one of the, I think they're top on the leaderboard, has access. They've already done all of these missions. So they have access to things like the advanced logistics, the overclocking, and you can then use them in earlier levels to help you get higher scores. So there's plenty of replayability with this. There's also things like pipes, gases, and liquids at a later stage in the game. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed this quick look at this. You can see me having a go at redoing this, and unfortunately not to much success. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like me to do a mini series on this, covering how I'd try and get into the top of each of the leaderboards, then do let me know in the comments below. And obviously, if you want to check out this game and try and beat my score, you can do so. I'll leave a link to the store page. But guys, until next time, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to all of our incredible supporters on Patreon, most notably our Lunar Eclipse patrons Firefless the Calamity, Ben, Star, and Seeker Kala, as well as our Blood Moon of the day, which today is Shlom. Until next time, as always, ciao for now.